Hey everybody, Patrice Johnson here from Agent Score Report and host of Agent Score Report podcast. I just wanted to share, just more firsthand experience that I know veteran agents can relate to and new agents can get behind. Experiences and is what we share on this podcast to help start conversations and help us get thinking. So early on in my career, this is before I was more assertive and wanted to fight for clients because I was mad at them getting mad at me. Before I learned to ask for permission, before I said something I knew would make the clients uncomfortable. But that's the goal, right? To get them uncomfortable, thinking about the reality of not having coverage in place. So there was a client of mine many years ago, I want to say about 8 years ago, so way early on in my career, where I sat with this 89-year-old male and his adult daughter. I had a carrier that would cover up to 90 years old, and I was able to get him a $10,000 policy. It was quite pricey. It was closer, around the $289 price range, but he insisted that this was something that he wanted and that he needed to make sure that his family did not have to scrounger money to make sure that he was taken care of once he had passed. His daughter objected because she thought it was a little expensive, and then he let her know, no, please, this is what I want to do. We're going to do this. He told her, in Spanish, like, no, daughter, no, mija, we're doing this. So we went forward with the application and we got it submitted, and he was thankfully approved. Now, a couple months later, I get a call from her saying that she wanted to cancel the policy. And she was the owner of the policy, so she had full control and she had every right to do so. But while I tried to reason with her to like, hey, let me check out the policy just to make sure, for her, she probably just thought I was trying to do some type of bait and switch and, get her to emotionally accept the policy that she felt she did not need because they believed they had coverage elsewhere that would compensate all of what they need without shelling out any additional cash. So obviously she was just thinking of the best interest of their family. She didn't do anything wrong. But as an agent, there was things that I probably could have done better after the fact. So we canceled the policy. It is what it is. I get a chargeback. That's part of life, right? I want to say a little less than a year later, I get a call from her, a panicked call at that, where she is telling me that her dad is in the hospital and they're really worried because it doesn't look good. And now she wanted me to reach out to the company of the policy that she said that she had when she canceled at me, and which I offered the first time to do because I wanted to make sure she was moving to a good spot. And she essentially couldn't get a hold of the company. And she's like, can you please help our family? And I was like, absolutely. As an agent, it's not always about the money, it's about the service, right? And I am here to serve. And there are just some things that just doesn't take that much effort. And I have the absolute resources and the capability to do it. So she sends me over a text message with her father's health coverage information that she has. And lo and behold, in large letters, it said accidental death insurance on the top. But I didn't stop there. I still wanted to see who the company was and all the other things. The company didn't even exist anymore. It had dissolved and been bought up by other mutual fund companies, and it basically didn't exist anymore. So the policy was already null and void because it only paid out of an accidental death. And I unfortunately had to break that news to her. So for me, while yes, that happened with her and it is what it is, and that's a lesson for their family to make sure they get coverage and, stay on top of it. I think me as an agent, there was things that I could have done better, things that I could do next time, which is, hey, even though she terminated that call, I could have still sent her a text message here and there. Like, hey, I know you moved on with your coverage, but I recommend you call. Like, I could have did some recommendations, like call to make sure the policy is enforced. I could have sent some type of text or message or even a letter in the mail, just something else, like to make sure that that I'm getting the message through. And then, of course, I've set other parameters in place where I am reviewing policies and coverage even prior to, and all of those things, other little things that I can do to ensure. But that's my story. And if you are listening, what's your advice in that same situation to make sure clients don't cancel, so that we can continue to give back to other agents and veteran agents that are looking for some new tips to put in their arsenal to whip out to overcome those objections. But until then, check out our latest episode on agentscorereport.com and listen to that and season 2.